Hello guys and welcome to this video. In this video we're going to be discussing the best settings for Nilah. So what are we waiting for? Let's get to it. Alright, so first of all go to your hotkeys, and after you go to your hotkeys click Quickcast all. Make sure that all the abilities are quickcasted. Make sure that you replace Quickcast with indicators. Make sure this is untagged. We actually did a testing with this setting and without this setting. Without this setting, the DPS, damage per second, increased from 15% to 25%. So it's really important to untag this Quickcast indicator. Alright, for your abilities and summoner spells, just scroll down. Alright, so first of all, level up spell 1, Z, level up spell 2, X, level up spell 3, C, and level up spell 4, V. Right, and for teleport home I use T, but you don't need to change it into T because T is for emojis, right? So B is fine as well. And why you should be using Z, X, C, and V for leveling up abilities? Because then you don't need to hover your mouse to click on it, right? You can just really press it with your thumb and you can instantly level up your ability, and you can instantly look for level 6 all-in, for example, or you can instantly look for level 4 all-in, and you're already gonna have the advantage, right? That's why I have ZXCV as my level up spells. Right, let's go down, items, and there's no need to change anything here. Player movement, player attack, move, click MB1, right? So it's a left click mouse. So this is really nice, and you will have this setting down below, so we'll get to it, but for now this is fine. Player attack move, make sure that it's on A, and which each time you press A, you can see in my videos there's like indicator around me, so it shows my attack range at every single time, right? And I'm really used to it, and yeah, I keep using it a lot, so this is really nice. Player stop position, S, is really important to have on S, because each time, for example, you get CC'd under a turret, right, you just press S and your heart are not gonna automatically attack the closest member to you, right? So you're not gonna get that turret aggro and you're not gonna be dying. So it's a really important setting, and you should be utilizing it as much as possible. For your camera control, make sure that select ally 1 is F1, select ally 2 F2, select ally 3 F3, and select ally 4 is F4. Alright, so these settings are really important for camera control, and I would highly recommend changing them, because the default ones are from self-select, which is irrelevant basically, right? Because you can center your camera on yourself by pressing space. Alright, display, nothing to change here. Communication, so quick enemy vision ping, right? Really important to have it on G, right? Or on your mouse as well. Like if your mouse has a lot of keys, having it on G gonna be really beneficial, or your mouse, either one is fine, right? And what does this do? This pings that the array is warded, therefore your jungler doesn't need to waste his time, because we already know that bush is warded, and you're gonna be saving your jungler's time quite a bit using it. Alright, let's scroll down. For your menus, you can leave it as default, and for item shop, leave it as default. Alright, so right now for binding your auto attack move to left click, this is really important for every single ADC main, and even for Nilah. I feel like this makes your life way easier, because it allows you to kite easier, to move in between each auto attack, right, to non-stop moving, right? So this setting is really nice, and I would highly recommend getting used to it. The only downside is whenever you're gonna be looking at the minimap, you're gonna be walking towards it, right? So yeah, that's a bit annoying, but you get used to it while using the F keys, right? So you can just check your top laner, F1 for example, F2 for a mid laner, right? You can just check while laning with your F keys, so it's not a big issue at all. Alright, so let's go to video. Alright, for your video, make sure it's a colorblind mode. This is really important, really important to have colorblind mode on, because it's gonna make you the For example, Singe Q, way easier to see, right? And certain abilities in the game gonna be way easier to spot when not in the color mode, right? Alright. Another thing is relative team colors doesn't make too much difference. Personal preference, hide and candy, like it doesn't matter too much. It's all up to you, right? It's all up to you for these settings. And enable screen shake. Make sure that this is disabled. This is really important because it gets you distracted, right? Each time like entire screen shakes and it's quite annoying, so I would highly recommend disabling it. Graphic settings doesn't matter too much. Anti-aliasing of visual content by reducing jiggerness. This may lower performance. I mean, I have anti-aliasing, but it's up to you. FPS, rate cap. You can always cap the frames depending on your PC, but for me, uncapped is fine. Colors, all 50. Alright, next one, sound. Sound is really important. So master volume depends on you. Music volume should be around 20. Announcer's volume should be around 20. Voice volume should be around 20. Sound FX volume should be at least 75, right? Ambience volume around 20, and ping's volume really important. Make sure that it's 75. Alright, let's go to the interface. Make sure that your UHD scale is as low as possible because you don't want to cover your screen for no reason at all. Like I see some people literally having like 100 HD UHD, and it takes like a large portion of their screen, right? So make sure it's at 0. Cursor scale depends on you, but I recommend 50. Shop scale 50 is fine, right? You don't want it at 100 because sometimes you're recalling, and then while you're recalling you might die just because the shop covers your entire screen, right? Chat scale, I personally keep it at 20, right? And I can see everything perfectly because my monitor is quite big, right? So it all depends up to you, but the smaller the better, the less screen it takes, and it still provides the information, right? And you can still see the information clearly. It's fine, right? For minimap scale, 50 is really important. Don't make it lower. You can always make it higher, but when it covers a bit too much screen, so I found 50 being the sweet spot. Object planning scale, make sure that this is 0. This is like a little vote that appears, and it's so annoying when it covers a portion of a screen, right? So what I do is just make it as low as possible, right? Just 0, and you're still gonna be able to see it, like you're still gonna be able to vote it, but it's gonna be pretty small. Alright, def recap scale doesn't matter, practice tool scale doesn't matter. Alright, health and resources. Show health bars, really important, right? Just copy these settings, show loss of control UI, which is good. Summoner names, I would recommend swapping to champion names, right? This would be way better option. Be disconnected, but doesn't matter. Notifications, screen flash on damage, right? Make sure that this is disabled. Champion highlight on camera center. It's personal choice, but personally I just keep it on. Screen flash on loss of control. I would highly recommend disabling this. Show off screen pings. I personally enable it. It's a new feature, but I kind of like it. So at the start it was a bit weird, right? But right now this is actually fine, right? Enable legacy cursor. So this is the cursor that you can see right now. You can also disable it, right? And it's a new cursor, just personal preference, but personally I like the old one, and I was so sad when they removed it and made it like this, right? And then a lot of people got sad about it as well. And then after 1 to 2 patches, I don't remember, they added an option where you can choose, so it's pretty cool, pretty cool. All right, show target frame on attack, really important to turn on. Show attack range, really important to turn on. Show spell cost, really important to turn on. Enable line missile display, really important to turn on. Disable UHD spell click, make sure that this is turned off. Show spell recommendations, make sure that this is turned on. Ability and cooldown display, it's up to you, doesn't matter too much. Show neutral camps, really important to turn this on, because if it's turned off you can't see the camps on the minimap. Allow minimap movement, I mean you can disable it, and then yeah, you can disable it, and then your character not gonna be moving on the minimap, right? So you can solve that issue by disabling the setting, right? From auto attack moving with your left click, but it's all up to you. Personally, I don't mind. I'm already used to this, right? So yeah. What else? Show minimap on left. I mean, yeah, this is just, I would recommend it keeping your minimap on the right, but it's all personal preferences, right? Scoreboard mirror, make sure that this is turned off. Show summoner spells, make sure that this is turned off. Show team frames on left, make sure that this is turned off. Chat, it's up to you, but I personally prefer party ally chat. Show timestamps, really important. It shows little dates on the text, right? So for example, if you type anything, right, it shows. Of course, right now I'm disconnected, right? And then for example, you type AD flash 1240, right? AD flash 1245, right? For example, so automatically you're adding 5 minutes, right? Okay, so for example, the enemy, and this is gonna be easier way to explain this. Enemy used their flash at minute 13. So what do? You type in chat AD flash 1800, right? So you always add 5 minutes on top of the current timer, right? So this is really, really important, right? And you should definitely, oh, I can showcase it right now. So right now the time is stuck at 9:59, right? 9:59. So for example, AD just flashed right now, and I'm timing the the freaking flash. So what do I would type? AD 14:55, and then I press Control A, Control C, and then I press Enter. And then you can just press Control V, and you can copy the text into the chat as many times as you like. So this is really important. Emote bubble display off, because it's so annoying, these little bubbles distracting you, right? Emote size is fine. Mute enemy modes. I mute the enemy modes just to not get tilted from it, right? So yeah. What else? Okay, let's see. Combat text, damage, gold, quest doesn't matter too much. Enemy damage, make sure all of these are marked up. And accessibility, display champion sound notifications, this is turned off. Alright, so that's about for interface. Now let's go to game. Personally, I use mouse speed of 70, but of course it's a personal preference. Camera movement speed on mouse 50 is fine. Camera movement speed from keyboard 0 is fine. You can make it 50. It's all up to you. Move camera on revive, so I personally keep it on. It's up to you as well. Enable smooth camera, up to you. Mouse button drag scroll, up to you. Camera lock mode, I would recommend pre-side offset, so you can see as much screen as possible while your camera is locked, right? So this is a really nice option to have, and I would highly recommend using it. Auto attack, make sure that it's turned on. Show turret rage indicators, this is, you know, co-op versus AI, like, doesn't matter. Display recommended jungle path, I mean, it's up to you. Personally, like, that doesn't matter too much. Use movement prediction, make sure that use movement prediction is turned off, because it feels like you're lagging and the movement is so weird. And yeah, I would just recommend turning this off. And attack move on cursor, this is really, really important to make sure that when you attack move, when you click the left click, right, it will prioritize the closest target to the mouse click, right? So if it's disabled, the attack move will prioritize the target closest to your champion, right? So you always want to prioritize targets closest to your mouse click. So make sure that this is enabled. And treat target champions only as toggle. So this is like this cursor, right? I just prefer to hold it, right, because it's fine. But you can mark this up, right? And then when you mark this up, you click once and the indicator gonna turn white, right? So it's all up to you, but personally I prefer like this. So whenever I just click and hold, right, it's perfectly fine, right? So yeah, that's about for settings. Don't if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the comments below. If you found this video useful, feel free to leave a like, subscribe, and have a nice rest of your day.